Hey guys, MWUSA Season 3, Episode 103, and you want to get some raw emotion. This is it right now. You're about to get it. So I wrapped things up with you last night or this morning, whatever it was, and went to sleep. Woke up this morning early, 5 a.m., went down to play, and went down to look around the slots and things. Found some slots to play, played those, and unfortunately it did not go great, but it wasn't that bad. But let me see, I'm looking for my voucher. Unfortunately, oh good lord, I ended up losing $46 on the slots, so that's not a big deal. We're used to that kind of thing. That's nothing. So then go to play some blackjack. Went to a $50 table, and it was a 6-deck table. Started playing, and it was horrendous the whole way through. From the first hand, I was down, and nothing was working. And within half an hour, 45 minutes, I was involved for about 5,000. I continued to play, it got worse, got involved for 7, continued to play, it got worse, and it just was not getting better no matter what I was doing. Dealer change, everything, no matter what, it wasn't getting any better. About 2 hours into it, finally things start turning around a little bit. At this point, I'm involved for 10,000. So playing, going up and down, but steadily moving in the right direction, and got to a point where I was at 9,200, and I was only a few hands away. The count was good, everything was good. It was looking like it was going to be all right, and it just fell apart. The rest of the shoe was all terrible, and by the time the shoe ended, although counts were high, the shoe was bad, and I finished that shoe at like 3,400, somewhere terrible like that. So moved on to the next one, and slowly started grinding back, and then had a big drop, and then had a shoe where I had a huge negative count, and there was no way I could keep playing anymore. And I switched over to a double deck table. I was down to about 3,000 at that point. Went over to the double deck table, played that, and things were going really well over there. I started picking up chips, making money. Continued, got up to 7,000, got up to 9,000, got up to 12,000, got up to 14,000, and then it fell apart and it just crashed like you wouldn't believe. I ended the last shoe, my last hand, the cut card was out. I had a $1,500 handout, no, more than that, a $2,000 handout, plus 13. I had an ace-5 against a 10. And I'm not feeling good about that already, obviously with it being there. But I hit it and have a hard, let's see, 14, so what did I have there? Ace-5 is 6, so I must have gotten an 8, get a hard 14, and then I just stared at it for a minute because I knew there was nothing I could do. I'm going to lose this hand no matter what. So, sorry, running across Las Vegas Boulevard here with 3 seconds to the right. Anyway, I hit it. No, I ended up hitting it and getting a 7 and busting. And at that point, I was just crushed. I ended up leaving the session down 12,000, I think. Yeah, 12,000. So minus 12,000. Right now, I'm meeting Coach to go to the other casino to play my slot stuff, and I'll be back to update you. All right, guys. I guess this is as good a time to talk as any. And it is right now. It is afternoon, late afternoon, and I'll kind of fill you in on what happened after I lost that money. Coach came and picked me up, and we went to play in the slot tournament. Went down there and played the first session. Also played some slots at that point, and ended minus $228. And then let me see here. We ended up going to South Point and looked at the same stuff there. Also played some blackjack while I was there. Played some lower limit blackjack stuff, like $25 minimum. And at the South Point, as soon as I got to $100 bet, all of a sudden it was a big deal. Checks played, and a lady came over and offered me a player's card, and I said no. And then another person came over and offered me one, and I said no. It was this big deal, and eventually I started getting on them about it, saying, you know, it's not even real money. The minimum on the table is $25. The max is $2,000, and you're gonna start making a big deal about $100. So I played there for a little while. Initially lost my first 500, and then continued on. Ended up getting that back. And when we were close to the time for the tournament, we ended up leaving. I was ahead at that point. Let me see. I was ahead 200, but I had lost 358 on slots. So the day was definitely not going good, and it's still not going great. But we're gonna shape up a little bit here and get back on track again. So then we went back to the casino again for round 2 and played round 2, and that didn't go well either. So I don't think that I'm in contention. In fact, a lot of people didn't even come back for round 2 because they felt that they were so far out of it that they didn't have a chance. So, and that might be true, but we'll see. So then we had some kind of information from somebody that worked there that if we did a certain thing, we'd get a certain offer, and we should try to do it. And we devised a way to get what we needed to make that happen. And we totally screwed it up, and we ended up losing money on the deal. But because it was technically gambling, it was not advantage play, I am not going to report it, and I'm just going to report what I did before that, which even that was not the smartest move, but I was ahead $191 before that. So because last year I won that $2,600 on Pai-Gow, and I didn't report it as a win because it was gambling, I'm not going to report this as a loss because it was gambling. It's not like this is something that I'm doing all the time. So I think that makes sense, and it was less money than that was, so it's not that big of a deal. We're going to let that go. So right now, sorry I'm out of breath here, walking down toward the strip. Coach had a couple plays he wanted to do at some of the station's properties, so he went to do that. He dropped me off. Whew, pretty high. It's got to be high 90s right now. Yesterday it was. So right now I'm heading to Caesars. Right now I'm over by Horseshoe, which I think I'm gonna just hop in here for a second, because I think there might be a walkway to Caesars that might be more convenient anyway, and I'll look at machines and stuff, maybe even play some blackjack and see what happens, and then I'll come back and report to you. But I do want to get to Caesars and take care of a few things, and I'm meeting a friend there as well. So letting you go right now. I'll be back. All right, guys, I am back. So I ended up walking into the Horseshoe first. I'm looking for the exit right now, and looked around at some machines and played a couple things, and actually had some good variance for the first time in a long time. and ended the session plus 355. So small gain, but much needed. Get that motivation, get that that feeling back that you have a shot, you have a chance. So let me see here. I am looking for how to get to Caesars from here. Las Vegas Boulevard straight up. I thought, yeah, here we go. Walkway to the Strip. I think that goes over Las Vegas Boulevard, and I can cross over to Caesars. My friend is already there, so I am going to meet him there in a minute, and we're going to make some more money. I guarantee at least $1,000 at Caesars by the time I talk to you next. We're going to chip away at this, and we're going to do awesome. So I'm going to let you go right now, and I'm going to go take this walkway across Las Vegas Boulevard, and I'll be back to update you soon. All right, guys, I am back. So I hate to do this to you, but it's the next day. I haven't been to sleep yet. It's already sunlight out, and things have just been so crazy, kind of a disaster. Personal life issues. I don't know how much I mentioned earlier about the bank account stuff, if I even did, but long story short, I needed to Zelle someone some money, and I accidentally Zelled it to the wrong number by one digit, and due to that, all my accounts got locked. So I figured, no big deal, I've got cash. If I need something, I can use a card. No, something is getting to everything. So basically, because of my mistake, they canceled the Zelle, and they called it fraud so that I can have it canceled and refunded. But what has to happen is all the accounts have to be temporarily closed or permanently closed until I come in. So once I come in, supposedly they're going to do all new accounts. It'll be a huge mess, and I don't want that. So I got to figure out what to do there. I tried to check my balances online. They all show as zero balances. I tried to use a card, and my cards aren't working. I don't know if somehow it was reported to credit or something that there's a problem. But basically, I don't have access to anything. So that's a big mess. Now, on the other side, let's talk about the things that happened. I think the last time I talked to you, I was at South Point, and I had lost $358 on slots, and I had won $200 on blackjack. So that's all fine. From there, we went to the M, and at the M, I played one slot before doing some crazy stuff. I think I mentioned this. I ended up ahead $191. That's all cool. And then I was on my way to, I think Caesars is the last time I talked to you. I was on my way to Caesars. I stopped. Actually, the horseshoe stuff doesn't seem to be in here. I think I mentioned it to you, though. I was up like 350 something. I will have to go back and listen to the podcast and put that number in here. When I got to Caesars, I met with a friend, and we talked for a while, and he mentioned the play at Harrah's. So we go to Harrah's, we do the play, and it was just not performing the way it should have. So in the meantime, there was a lady doing massages. My neck's been stiff ever since I was under this cold air conditioning at a casino about a week ago. So I had her do the massage for 10 minutes for $20. We finished up the play, talked to her for a while. I'm going to talk about her later on, maybe in a different episode, but I'm going to mention information about her later on to you guys and explain that in more detail. So from there, we finished another play, and we ended up down $127 on those machines. So we decided to go to the Mirage because there's some other stuff over there. And we get there, I meet with my friend, and we're checking stuff. We play a few things, and I end up ahead $46. I need to use the restroom, so I used the one in the sports book, and I noticed that in the sports book they have blackjack tables now. So they have 6 tables. 3 of those tables are free bet tables. So hold on one second. I just found a play while I was walking. I'll be back. All right. Anyway, just a short play, couple minutes, and made a few bucks on it. No big deal. Anyway, where was I going with this? I was at the Mirage, and they have those tables, and I thought that was interesting that they have free bet in the Mirage sports book. But obviously that's a higher advantage for the house, so they want to put that there. If people are bored watching a game, there's a commercial, whatever, they can make some money off of them. And then so I ended up, I had $46 on that. And then a friend of mine met with me and the other guy that I was hanging out with. We met at Caesars, and I had $500 in food and things like that at Caesars. And so we all went to dinner, me and my 2 friends and one of their fathers, and we all went to dinner, and it was a good time. And we spent the whole $500 on steak and lobster mac and cheese and all kinds of good stuff. So that was all good. And then we decided to just look at some slots, which I did. And at Caesars, I ended up ahead $894 on those slots. So that's excellent. Everything is fine. And as we were talking, one of the guys introduces me to a friend of his who is very big in advantage play, and he's had stuff published, he's been in articles, and so we started talking, and he said that he's a fan of some of the work that I've done, in particular some of the entry points that I had discussed with someone else. He used it, and he showed me a screenshot on his phone where he won like $1,400 just on one play using those. So that was really cool. We ended up talking about a play that he either invented or perfected or changed or did something, and we talked about maybe working on that play together. And so we said, okay, let's pick a place. There's a couple places that it would work really well on that have this type of you have the ability to use this play there. So we picked a place, and the 4 of us ended up going to this place. So we get there around maybe midnight or something like that, and we were there about 5 hours doing this play. It's a very interesting concept, a very interesting play. We basically did a 1-4 blackjack spread, and then on the side we had a special play for a side bet that the casino doesn't know is beatable. So we did that, and we did that for a long time, and with varying results. Some of us did better than others. I believe I was ahead 1,078. Some of the guys ended up down, but we worked it all out, and we, but the point is, we had a good time. We did this together. This is something that really isn't done very often. The casinos don't know about it, so it's a very interesting thing and an interesting concept. So I was happy about that. So got back to the room around 7:45 or so in the morning, and went to the room, and then actually ended up going back downstairs to cash some things out and take care of my money situation and all that. And at that point I talked to the bank, or I tried to call the bank, but it's a big mess, so I'll have to deal with it when I get home. I did have one more session at the Wynn playing blackjack for a short time, and ended ahead $600 on that, although I have no time really to do this. And now the situation is, I need to get back to this other casino for the last round of the slot tournament, and I'm thinking about not going because I know I'm pretty far behind, and I would have to have a huge score for it to make sense for me to even, have a chance of winning anything. So I think it may be pretty much out of reach, and I may be just wasting time. So instead of doing that, I'm thinking about, I haven't taken a nap even, and it's right now, it is almost 9 a.m. So what I'm thinking about doing is maybe getting myself cleaned up, take a nap, and then figure out all the things I need to do before I leave, which include playing some more blackjack because I really haven't gotten much in, figuring out my comps and things that I can use, buying gifts for the kids and things like that. So that's what I'm going to try to focus on here temporarily. I feel fine. I'm definitely tired, but I need to get this stuff figured out. And I need to get home, and I need to take care of all the bank situations. So for now, I'm going to let you go, and then I'll come back and update you. I hope this was something that you could actually hear well, and it wasn't all noisy from all the background stuff going on. But I'll be back to update you. Real quick, let me add that while I was at that casino, I did play a few slots and ended the session down $25. So not much, but overall, very, I don't know how to say it. I guess it was very aggravating from the time that I went to California till now. And I had a feeling that things were going to fall apart, and they did, but I couldn't put my finger on what I was doing wrong. For one thing, at the win, I guess when I took that money from like $3,000 to $14,500 or so, I should have left ahead $2,500, taken a break, maybe, I don't know. So anyway, I'm still evaluating all that, and I'll figure it out and learn from it and move forward. But right now, I'm going to get myself situated, and I'll be back to update you. All right, guys, I am back. I don't know if all these segments are making sense. I'm just doing them whenever I can. So I did play a few sessions at the Win. One was it was pretty short, actually, like 15 or 20 minutes. I was ahead 600 on that one. Walked around, looked at slots, played other things. I went to some of the shops. Some of my kids wanted chocolate and all kinds of cool stuff, like chocolate-covered cherries and stuff in the little glass container, and really neat stuff like that I thought they would like, and other milk chocolate and things like that. And then I got my boys' T-shirts from down the street over by the Encore, the north part of the Encore. There's a shop there that sells souvenirs. It's a little expensive, but what are you gonna do? What else? I got some. Well, so my wife is always mad at me because I've got stains on my shirt. I got some of those little Tide sticks where you touch it to the stain, and it helps get rid of the stain, so I don't have to be yelled at all the time. Got some chargers, some long chargers, some multi-ended chargers, things like that. So I think they'll like that stuff. That's the kind of stuff they were asking me for. And then I did order some lunch for 2 o'clock to be delivered in the room service. And that should be good. I don't remember everything I got, but actually I can see it on this tablet. But I got like a steak and things like that. So yeah, so everything is good. I also looked at some slots, and let's see, and I was ahead $133 on those slots. I also played another round of tables at the Win and ended up ahead 800. My low for the session was minus 1200. My high was plus 900, and I ended the session ahead 800. And what happened there was the shoe ended, and then a guy and his wife came to the table, and they were yelling for someone else to come over. And I was like, I'm not going to sit around, especially since it was a decent shoe. I had a couple bad shoes before that. As soon as I sat down, they were pretty bad, but I was able to make a nice comeback and leave ahead 800 on that. So right now I am in the room. I'm going to start organizing my stuff. We leave for the airport at 5 a.m. and from a casino that's pretty far away from here. So I think I'm going to pack up and see if Coach can meet with me tonight, maybe pick me up. If not, I can take an Uber there. But I'm also going to be meeting with a fellow AP that I've never met before, and we're going to do the slot thing together and hang out and talk and stuff like that. So maybe we'll do that at Caesars. That might be a good idea. I'm not really positive. So anyway, right now, letting you go, and I'll be back to update you when I have more information. All right, guys, I am back. So tomorrow, I am leaving to go home, and the flight is at like 6:30 or 7 in the morning. So I need to be done by 5 a.m. So I don't know if I'm going to sleep again tonight or not. I can tell you I'm definitely crashing on the plane on the way home, because it would have been less than 8 hours of sleep in 5 days. So I definitely need it. But right now I'm trying to recover, trying to get some money back and rebuild. And that's what I'm doing. So I just had another session at the Wynn and played for 20-something minutes. Had some good variance on a shoe, and just as I was doing well, a gentleman comes over and asks me if he can sit down, and I tried to discourage him, and he said, okay, I'll let you have till the end of the shoe, and I'll get in on the next shoe. And I decided to go ahead and leave at that point. And at that point, I was ahead 1,100, so plus 1,100 more. And we're starting to chip away at it right now. We're moving the right direction. And I noticed that I had some vouchers that I had not cashed. So I am heading toward the Venetian right now. And then I will be crossing over to the Mirage and Caesars ultimately, where I'll be cashing vouchers. So I doubt I'll be playing at the Mirage, although it's not out of the question, but it would probably be in the low limit because I had a lot of heat in the high limit. So we'll see what happens. And this is actually also the shift that happens, so I got to be careful. But definitely we'll look at some machines along the way, and we'll see what happens. Right now it's 92 degrees outside, a beautiful day, but definitely warm. You got to keep yourself hydrated for sure. I got all my stuff packed up and ready to go. Just have to take a shower, get ready in the morning, and I'll be picked up around 5 a.m. by a friend of mine, and we'll go to the airport, and from there, then you get to rest finally. I will have 2 days of rest, also known as 2 days at the office, with probably only 1 or 2 slot shifts in those 2 days each day, and then back to the grind again Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Be hitting it hard again at the further away places. We will still get over 2,000 miles of driving in this week, even though I'm coming back, tomorrow, and we'll still find a way to get all those hours in at the tables and make the money that we need to make and get back on track. So letting you go right now, and I'll be back to update you soon. All right, guys, I am back. So I went to the Palazzo next and just looked around at machines, see what I could find. I found a couple plays, and really the second play was the big one. I spent about 20 minutes on that one. Played it at multiple levels and actually did pretty well on it. Ended up leaving ahead $428. Right now I am across the street by the Mirage entrance. I'm going to jump over to Treasure Island to meet a friend and see what he's looking at, and then probably head back to the Mirage and over to Caesars to cash that voucher I found. So A lot of stuff still going on. We got 12 hours before we have to leave town, so we're gonna make the most of it right now. So just hopped on the tram. I'll be back to update you soon. Bye. All right, guys, I'm back. So we got a nice little breeze here. Hopefully you can still hear me. So I think the last time I talked to you was about 5 hours ago, and I had just gotten out of the Venetian Palazzo with a profit, and I was excited, and I was going to the Mirage to look at some slots and maybe do some other stuff. And when I was talking to my friend, he actually said that he was at Treasure Island instead of the Mirage. So I went over to Treasure Island instead and pretty much gave back everything I had just made. So minus 438 at Treasure Island, unfortunately. And then we did go to the Mirage, and I could not find any plays at the Mirage, but I did find in the high limit there was a 50-cent per line machine. So each line is 50 cents, and it was like one of those Chinese 88 things, you know. So it takes like 50 cents to spin the reels, and there was 59. So that was $29.50, and so the person just abandoned it because they didn't have enough money for one spin. Must have been frustrated, and they abandoned $29.50 in the machine. So of course I was there to help them out with that. I picked that up, and that was all good. So let me see here. From there, Caesars. Okay. So then we went to Caesars and checked some things out there, and was able to find a couple machines to play, a couple small things, and ended up ahead $68 there. So that was good. And then we decided to go to Paris, and we cut through by the Cromwell. So when we went there, we stepped inside, took a look around, and I was able to find one small play for a whopping $6 gain. And then we went on to Paris, where I had a big play that I was playing. And actually it's interesting because yesterday these guys were telling me about a scam that was going on, and then it happened to me today, the exact same thing. So here's the way it works. You're on an advantage machine, and it's positive EV. You're going to make money on it, most likely. And somebody sees that you're playing it, and they want it. So what do? They have someone dressed up similar to the way that the people at the casino dress, with a name badge, with whatever it takes to make them look like they work there. And then they come up to you and they say, this is what happened to me. She came up to me and said, Joe, because he had seen my name on the little screen, because I had my card in and I was playing. So it said Joe right on there. And so he told her, and they were working together. And so she comes up and she says, Joe, I need to talk to you for a second. I work at Caesars. Hold on a second. We got some noise here. Give me 1 second. Sorry about that. Man playing pots and pans in the street. So anyway, so they come up and they say, hey, Joe, I work with Caesars and we have a problem. I need your help. And you say, what's going on? And they say, well, we've got your information, but it needs to be updated in our computer system. We just need you to show us your driver's license, and we'll get it fixed up and everything will be fine. So, of course, the person wants to help because they don't want to have any problems. And what they say is, go ahead and cash out your ticket so you don't lose your money, and come with me and we'll get it fixed, and then you can go back to what you were doing. So the person cashes out their ticket, and they start walking with them, and the other advantage player sits down and takes the deal. So That's what happened to me. She came up to me. I was playing a game, and I was halfway through it. It was really juicy at that point. It was going to pay out. And she came to me and she said that your information needs to be updated. It's come with me. But I said, can I do it later, like after I'm done with what I'm playing? And so she paused for a minute. She said, well, yeah, you can do it later. And then she's like, well, if you want, you can just give me your license and I'll do it. Of course, no one's going to do that, right? You're not going to hand it to somebody and let them walk away with it. So I figured out what was going on almost right away. I finished the play. The guy had disappeared when I said no to her. I went and found the guy, and I said, this kind of seems like maybe she's trying to pull something here. And he instantly says, well, she had a name badge. That means she works here. So he obviously is in defense mode. So most likely they were working together, and they were trying to draw me away from the play. Anyway, that great play ended up yielding me a minus $71. So lost $71 on that. And then we went to Planet Hollywood, which was completely packed and no way to make any money. I was able to make $26 there, so that was all right. At that point, somebody somebody that is also an Advantage player that I associate with and we share information, wanted to meet me. So he works here in town in Vegas, so we decided to meet, and we ended up meeting at the Cosmopolitan. So went over there, looked at some stuff. Of course, everybody was out doing everything, so it was hard to find a play. And I did end up leaving ahead $39 on that, so plus $39 there. And then, let me see, we walked from there to the Bellagio, and from the Bellagio all the way to the Mirage. And then I went to the blackjack table at the Mirage, which will be the last time I play there because next time I come here, they'll be closed forever. So I went to the blackjack table there and sat down. Actually, I'm going to take a video here real quick. But I sat down and bought in for 500. Hold on one second. All right, anyway, I bought in for 500. And I'm actually going by the Vegas Sphere right now. And in case you didn't know, right now they're doing music stuff, concerts and things right now in Vegas, and Grateful Dead stuff. And the Sphere has the Grateful Dead logo. And I took a video of that and I put it on YouTube if you're interested in seeing that. But anyway, so I bought it for 500 and lost the first 8 hands, and then rebought for another 500, and that lasted a while longer. And then a guy comes to the table, has no clue how to play. He buys in for like $2,500. He gets half green and half black, and then he starts just putting big gobs of green out there, losing, playing terribly, taking all the cards that you know he's not supposed to take. And every time he did that, there was a penalty for me because it ruined my hand. So, and then another guy came to the table. When he saw what the first guy was doing, he said he's not staying, and he left. And then the second guy got frustrated because he was still losing, and he ended up leaving the table. I was back by myself, but now at this point I'd bought in for a total of 2,000. I was playing 50 to 500. Bought in for a total of 2,000. Eventually started getting it back. Eventually did recover, and eventually ended up leaving ahead, which was amazing because it happened so fast. One good shoe, and I ended up leaving the Mirage ahead $510. So all that was good and positive. Here's the negative. The negative is today I have already walked 28,000 steps, about 13 plus miles. It'll be 14 easily before I get to bed, if not more. My feet are hurting. They're stinging. They're hot. They're like just not feeling well. And right now, I just walked back into the Wynn and gonna go look around here at the machines and stuff. May or may not play blackjack because the limits are probably going to be incredibly high right now, and then we'll figure out what to do from there. I'll come back and explain about getting home and what has to happen for that. Alright guys, I'm back. It is now the next day, and we actually have arrived back in the Midwest already. We took a couple flights to get here, and from here it's going to be some more hours of driving to get home, but we did land safely. Everything is fine. One other thing I didn't mention yesterday, I meant to mention, was when I checked in for this tournament, I talked about going on a cruise with Caesars, which is, my wife and I are going to Alaska in about a month. And I mentioned that other company's cruises are not that good, and he said that they had a cruise that was that good with the balcony and everything. They actually gave it to me, so I have that available, and it's actually around the time of something that's going on in my family that's a big deal, so it might work out for us to go again a couple months after this trip to Alaska. Hopefully we're making money and we can do this, but so anyway, last night I was extremely tired. My friend called me. I was back at my room, got something to eat, and he had a big play. We talked about it, and I decided not to do it, and I fell asleep within a few minutes. Woke up this morning about 4 o'clock, got ready to go, and went downstairs to cash out a voucher, started looking at machines, and I immediately hear a voice. You do stay up all night or something. I forget what you said, but and he was right there. Anyway, that probably means he was checking machines. But we got to the airport on time. We got our flights, and everything went well. So that's what's going on. I'm back home. I don't know what's going to happen the next few days. One of the first priorities I have is to get to the bank, get all my accounts fixed so I have money and I can pay my bills. I already got an email from Sprint that my phone bill didn't go through, and a doctor's office that a payment didn't go through. So a lot of stuff is going to be falling apart if I can't get it fixed. So that's it for now. We're going to drive home, and I'll be back with you when I am. I'll probably do an episode tomorrow, but won't close it until Tuesday night. So expect it Tuesday night. If you have any questions or comments, the email is mwusa21@gmail.com, mwusa21@gmail.com. See you next time.